Hi folks, I want to tell you about Denham Springs Fit Body Boot Camp and their 28-day, $77 Jumpstart program. There's no strings attached and really no reason not to try. You can be in and out in just 30 minutes, and best of all, these 30-minute sessions are scheduled throughout the mornings and evenings to fit your busy schedule. These 30-minute sessions are fun, positive, encouraging, and you can even sign up online. Just visit getfitdenhamsprings.com. Denham Springs Fit Body Boot Camp, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Local Leaders, the podcast. I am Jim Chapman, and you're going to recognize the guy across from me. He's been on the show before. He is our assessor here in Livingston Parish. Jeff Taylor, welcome.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me again.
We are glad to have you on, and today we're going to cover a lot of things with regard to, I guess, post-storm assessor-related discounts, things like that. But before we get into all that, I want to talk about your hair a little bit. Okay. Last time we talked, you were growing your hair out for charity, I believe.
I'm growing it out for St. Jude.
Yes.
I was asked by a couple guys to do it. We was at Greystone one night, and they asked me and told them no at first. And then the more I talk to people, and then people that have cancer and have lost their hair, I decided, I might do this.
Yeah.
And went through that awkward stage the first 5, 6, 7 months where it was just awful. It's not great now, but it was just absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And so it finally got to where I could pull it back and pull it off my face. And so it's not as bad now. But I'm actually enjoying the ponytail. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But I'm actually enjoying it. My wife hates it. My mom and my daughter love it. So we'll decide what we're going to do. But in April, I'm going to cut it and donate it to one of the organizations to make a wig, and then the money that I raise is going to go to St. Jude.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing, and a beautiful charity. St. Jude is, for the people out there that may have been to Memphis, I've actually toured their facility there, and it is a beautiful facility that you see right where that money's going. Right?
Every bit of it goes there.
Yes.
And Monroe Lockhart, and then Van Pran out in Holden, Pam Van Pran, her son had cancer also. Wow. And so I decided to do it for those two, but it has expanded now to many, 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 many more. Yeah. We hear about those two a lot. Yeah. But there's many people that have visited St. Jude. And so I dedicated it to those two, the Van Pran family and then the Lockharts. Yeah. But it's for everybody.
Awesome. And you've been doing it now about a year and a half. You've been growing that hair out. You got about another half year left or so?
I've got 7 months.
7 months.
And my wife is marking it off the calendar every day. Every day.
She's ready. Strangely enough, Jeff, no one has asked me to grow my hair out for charity. Go figure. But,
the thing, the more people that I run into, and you really don't realize the impact of it until you run into somebody. I have a few of my friends that have had cancer, ladies, and they've lost their hair. Yeah. And you're doing it for a certain deal, but then they tell you, you have no idea what it's like when you get a new wig, and all of a sudden you can go to Walmart or to church, and people are not just staring at you.
Yes.
They said it gives you a new lease on life. So over the last 14, 15, 16 months, I've had a real education in feelings that way. Yeah. And so it has affected the way that I'm looking at it. And I don't know if this is going to be the only time I'm ever going to do this. Yeah. Because of the impact of that. So we'll see.
It's really a huge commitment. And it doesn't seem like much, but man, 2 years of growing your hair out is a commitment and a half, in my opinion. And you're right. I mean, women especially identify themselves with their hair. And when they have cancer and they're going through chemo and they lose their hair, what a beautiful way to give them some confidence back and some normalcy, I would imagine.
My wife says we don't have any gel, any hairspray. It takes me longer to get ready now than it does her to go out to dinner, and so I have to start an hour early now.
Yeah. Glad I ain't got to do that. Well, thank you for that, and what a great commitment you're doing there for St. Jude. Let's get into some of the discounts, reductions, and all those sorts of things you do with the assessor's office, especially in times of disaster. And we'll start with the flood discounts. People are still, working on the flood at their house. Some people, and there are some discounts that are in place. Tell us about those.
Well, the flood hit us in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And about that, it hit us in August of 2016.
Yeah.
About October of 2016, a lot of people had forgotten about the flood.
Yes.
If you were not a part of it.
Yes.
The problem with it is a lot of people are still, in 2021, still repairing their homes because of no insurance or whatever factor came in. So my job is not to do anything with your taxes.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it is. My job is only to put a value on your property. I assess the value of your property.
Sheriff collects the tax.
Sheriff collects the tax. The districts are the ones that voted. Your school board, your sheriff's office, your fire departments, your drainage. That's the ones that tax you.
Yeah.
All I do is value it.
Yeah.
So when we have a disaster like that, and I've got a 100% value on your home, and you've been damaged, I then have to reassess that and put a new value on it. And in doing that, it is going to lower the revenue for the districts.
Sure.
But it has to be done.
Yeah.
So we had the flood discount. So anybody that's still working on their home, you need to call me. I don't care if it's $10,000.
Yeah.
$10,000 of assessment goes back into your pocket.
Yes.
Instead of going to the districts. Let me tell you what government is. I've said this for 21 years now. Government is like, if you grew up in the country, government is like a hog.
Yeah.
It does not matter how much food you put in that trough, that hog is going to continue to eat. A hog will eat itself to death.
Yeah.
It will eat so much that it'll fall over dead.
Yeah.
That's what government would do. It just keeps eating the more you fuel it. So we've got to learn to live within our means.
100%.
And in this, I told the districts back in 2016, you need to start putting money aside, because if we have another disaster, we're not going to do the 20, 25, 20, and 20. We're going to give a true value of what their damage is.
Yeah.
Some of the districts have already started calling me and saying, we don't know if we can take the cut. Well, we're going to find out if you can, because I am going to side with the people, and they're going to get the districts. The people that got hit with that flood that they're still doing, they can get full value.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's similar to running a business. You always want to have some expenses to the side in the event of a disaster. You lose electricity for 10 days. Maybe you have some money to the side to cover that lost revenue. Same thing, same advice you gave. It was just the district. So good advice. And what Assessor Taylor is saying is, if you have some damage, give them a call, take some pictures maybe, and that will probably help. And get with the assessor's office, and they'll see what they can do to help you.
Yeah, call us. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
All through this COVID deal, we never closed.
Yeah.
We're open. There's somebody answering phones. We can get there to you, and we want to inspect your property. You got to realize we don't go inside homes unless we're invited. We do all of our stuff outside the home.
Yeah.
So if you fixed up everything outside your home and we're driving by, it looks great to us.
Yeah.
But you may still be on concrete floors that are not finished. You may have walls that are still cut up. You wouldn't believe the number of people that still have walls cut up 2 feet.
Yeah,
that they haven't been able to go in there. No insulation. The paint hasn't been done, or they got cracks in it.
Yeah.
So we don't know that.
Yeah.
So please give us a call. We want you to get your true value of what your assessment should be.
Very good.
There is nothing in this that says that I want to go high.
Yeah.
It don't make any sense for me to go high.
Right.
We want to give you your value.
Very good. Very good. And of course, now we're dealing with Ida, who Hurricane Ida just reared its ugly head and passed us by and left a lot of damage. And I'm sure some people are out there with damage to their home from Ida. What type of reductions are you planning for Ida?
Well, in the flood, we gave a 20, 25, 20, and 20, if you remember, over the 4 years. Yeah. This one is going to get the value.
Yeah.
If you come in there and your value to your estimate to replace your home or get it back in order is $100,000, you're going to get $100,000 off. We're going to give you the value.
Very good.
I've got people that went through the flood in my subdivision.
Yeah.
That had trees on their home.
Wow.
They just got through. my neighbor across the street just literally last year got through repairing her home from the flood, and now she's got trees all over the back of her house, not in the yard, on her house.
Wow.
So she's now having to start all over again. Look, that's very trying. That'll
break the strongest.
That'll break you the strongest. That it will. And so when I talk to the districts, I've told them whatever people come in, we're going to inspect it, and we're going to put it on our numbers.
Yeah.
And whatever that number comes up to be, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're going to give it to them.
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
we're going to see if you got enough money to make it through. But
yeah.
The people are going to get it because they've been through a lot. The people of this parish been through a lot, and they need to get their discounts.
Absolutely. And of course, there was a COVID discount that had kicked in at one point. Tell us about that and if it's still existing. And
yeah, COVID's still going. You know, it started last year. We gave a 10%. I was the only assessor that gave a 10% to both residential and commercial. I gave 10%. You got 10% across the board for COVID. Now, it's important that people understand that if you got a flood discount, a COVID discount, IDA discount, you're not getting all three of them. No. You're going to get the one that is the most.
Yeah.
Whichever one comes in best for you. If the flood discount comes out higher, you're going to get that. If the COVID one comes out higher, you're going to get that.
Yeah.
If the IDA comes out higher, you're going to get that.
Right.
So that's only fair. I can't go through there and add them all three together and give you
80%
pay
off
you money back.
Yeah.
You know, by the time we get through with everything. So we're going to be working on that. We talked a few minutes ago that, you know, the parish workers and the sheriff's office and everything, they've been working real hard over this last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, been working real hard. As their work winds down, ours really picks up.
Yeah.
So we were able to assist them for this last 4 weeks with whatever needed to be done. Cooking, getting supplies, keeping our office open. We were the only office for a while that had internet. So they were actually coming over to our office and using our internet.
Yeah.
So we were able to do some of that. But now as their work is winding down, we know in the office of the assessor's office, the next 4 months is going to be just absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to go all over this place looking to see what kind of damage we've got and making sure that, you know, we're going to verify it.
Yes.
You hate to say that, but you've got to verify it because there's going to be people that are going to call me.
Sure.
Tell me they got $300,000 worth of damage. You're going to get there and they lost a shingle. Yeah. There's going to be some people that's going to tell me they got about $4,000 worth of damage. You can get there and their roof's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be some people that'll underestimate.
They're going to underestimate.
Sure.
So we're going to verify it for them.
Yeah, very good. And interesting in that a lot of ways that you can verify damage now, you're not just driving out there and going to each individual, although there was a time where that, you know, you had to do that. But you have a pretty amazing flyover mapping system that you can do that you can actually see that damage from the sky, right?
Oh, yeah. We've got a mapping system. Jim, we're about to create a full-blown Livingston Parish mapping system. Yeah. We've got it through the assessor's office now, but we're going to have our own department. We've got in the back of our building that we've just built, there's an area. We're going to put the mapping department there where people can come in there and get all their maps. They're not going to have to just go through the front door. They're going to be able to get there. Yeah. But one of the things that our mapping system has done is that we've been able to add pictures of all the houses in the parish, and then we do flyovers. Yeah. And those flyovers come in, and we can lay them over. Every 2 years, they do a flyover. Yeah. And so we can lay it over the top of the one, and we can see what's the new construction. Wow. But an added benefit of that is I can now take and lay that one down from 2 years ago, and I can lay IDA over across it, and I can see what the damage is. Wow. And so we can do a lot of the assessment from the air. Yeah. Now, the ones that we can't, well, obviously have to go out there and drive. Sure. But it's so much easier if I got 3 or 4 guys that are sitting there just looking at it as a flyover. You're missing a roof, you got substantial damage. Yeah. If you're missing this. So we're going to be able to see a lot of that from the air. And they're already there. They're 40-something% finished with the flyover in the parish. They would have been finished already, but the weather. Yeah. By the time you turn around, it rains. Yeah. Cloudy. And so
that's a good point.
We're real close.
Yeah, very good, and the time that saves is just phenomenal. I mean, you're probably talking months and months of
people don't want to see
research.
right now. You don't want to see an assessor's vehicle driving up and down the street.
Yeah.
First of all, you're in the way.
Yes.
The first, the sheriff's department of the parish, they're trying to get things cleaned up.
Yes.
And so if you're in there trying to do all that, you're just in the way.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a way to be able to do this. And then when they get everything cleaned up, then we can start doing all the work that's necessary. And right now we can do support, and then they'll be giving us support.
Yeah. And speaking of work and things like that, the assessor's office, which incidentally, congratulations, you are the 2021 Assessor of the Year, statewide.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. You got a little bit of experience in the assessor world with 21 years now that you've been doing this. And I can't tell you folks how much I believe that is of benefit to our parish, because Jeff has worked with these people in the state of Louisiana for a long time, throughout the entire state, really, to get a spotlight on Livingston Parish. And when you're Assessor of the Year, when you have that much experience, that goes a long way. It really does. So shout out to you for your award. Well deserved.
Thank you.
And I did want to mention that. Now, one thing that the assessor's office throughout the state of Louisiana really do is they look out for each other, and they're there to help the people of not only their parish, but other parishes as well. And you're going to have like a disaster team that you're going to put together. You can have disasters. We live in Louisiana. They're going to happen.
They're going to happen.
Yeah,
you're going to have
no
them.
avoiding it.
You're either going to have flooding, you're going to have tornadoes, you're going to have hurricanes. You're just going to have disasters that happen in Louisiana.
Yes.
And it's a great place to live. I love living in Louisiana.
Yes.
I don't want to live anywhere else.
No.
But we have disasters.
All the time. Yeah.
And in the flood of 2016, we had a group that come in from Point Capee, and they had a boat group that was able to get people out of the flood. Jimmy Laurent, Assessor Laurent, down in Point Capee.
Yeah.
Well, the more we got to talking about things, his skill is doing that.
Yes.
Jeff Gardner from the Felicianas, his skill is clearing out debris.
Yes.
He just knows how to do it. He can get on there and work a chainsaw better than anybody you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not my skill. I'm not an electrician.
Right.
I don't know all the wires that's going to go through there. I don't want to be up on somebody's roof cutting. I can cut them.
Sure.
But I don't know if I'm going to do more damage.
Yeah.
So you don't need me there.
Yeah.
My skill is making sure that the people that are working are fed.
Yeah.
And so I invested in this huge machine that I can go to different areas. We've been on the east side of the parish. I've been in other parishes throughout this whole thing, just about every day. Been cooking for somebody.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
It's needed.
Absolutely.
But the boats are needed. The tree cutting is needed.
Yeah.
The food is needed. So we've started talking, and we said, let's form a group with the Assessors Association, much like the Sheriff's Office has, that they show up at different places that are disasters.
Yes.
You'll look out there. You and I were talking about it a while ago, the different sheriff's departments that were parked at Carter's, and you would see them.
Yeah.
A lot of them weren't getting paid.
Right.
When the storm went through Lake Charles last year, I took food up to my sheriff's office up in Avoyelles Parish.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get to anything.
Yeah.
So you'd show up and take it up there to them. They were up there helping other parishes. And when it came our time, people come into our parish.
Yeah.
So we're forming that group to make sure that we're going to have a first responder that says, okay, it hit Lake Charles, let's go.
Yeah.
And we can go over there and we can help them. But not only in the producing of food and flood and debris, but right now we're helping the different parishes come up with a way to reassess their parishes. I've been through it. So they're calling me. When they called the legislative auditor, they said, what do we do? Call Taylor.
Yeah.
He went through it in 16.
Yeah.
Call Aguilar. She went through it in 20. So we're able to give them a roadmap of ways to start doing it. So I'm going to different parishes now, St. Charles, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne, and I am looking at the ways that they're doing their reassessments.
Yeah.
And I'm consulting with them saying, this is what I would do. This is how I would do it. This is what I did.
Yeah.
This is what worked. This is what did not work.
Yeah.
And so kind of putting things together. So we've got a disaster team going.
Great. And it's a great thing. And to your point, especially when you're giving throughout any disaster, you really don't know what a difference that makes to whoever it is you're giving that thing to. And I'll tell a quick little story. 2016, I had 5 feet of water in my house. And of course, we're like everybody else in that area of Denham Springs, in that it came so fast we didn't know what to do. And we ended up on 16 and just standing there in the only dry place in the area, and with 1,000 other people.
I was there with you.
Yeah. I mean, an interesting thing is it didn't matter your economic status. None of that mattered. You had people that were poverty level on that road. You had people that were rich on that road. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter. We were all together, but 4 or 5 days of that water before it even receded enough where you could go back in your home. And I'll never forget this, Jeff. I'll never forget, with 3 kids and a wife, I go back, we're kind of assessing everything, for lack of a better term, seeing what's going on. And people were going down the road and they were handing things out. The one thing I didn't have was toilet paper. None. Got a whole family here. There's no toilet paper. Now, me, I'm like, man, I better start stacking leaves. I don't know what to do. But, I got little girls and all I wanted was some toilet paper, and divine intervention, whatever you want to call it. But as soon as that entered my mind, it was not 30 minutes later. Guy's driving down the road, and he has a guy in the back of his truck, and he's throwing 12-pack rolls of toilet paper. And I'm like, man, when he handed that to me, I looked at him and I said, you have no idea what this means to me. And I meant every word of it. It changed me as a person that day, in a good positive way. And that guy probably did not realize for the rest, he may still not realize what he did for me, but it took a lot of pressure off of me because I was feeling pressure for that toilet paper. The smallest things. But let me all the toilet paper got flooded.
Yeah, we're Christians.
Yeah.
So we understand divine intervention.
Yes.
There is a reason that things happen.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to the water and they do all this kind of different things. But for that guy, God put it on his heart, or something put it on his heart. I believe God did.
Yeah.
That go buy as much of it as you can, because people cannot get to this.
Yes.
And he come through there. He was a blessing to you.
Unbelievable.
And to him, all he was doing was following what he had been laid on his heart.
Yeah.
But he was an unbelievable blessing to you and took off stress for you.
Yes.
I believe that's the way the Lord works. I believe that's why he puts people in certain positions. I think that's why he gives you ideas to do.
100%.
And it may be cooking. It may be toilet paper. It could be water. You could have a trailer full of nothing but water, and you're taking it out there and handing it off.
Yeah.
Look, when you're in the situation we were in 2016 and what the people in with Ida,
yes,
2 bottles of water is a lot.
That's gold.
It means something.
Absolutely.
And so I just believe that God puts people in places.
Telephone, tell a friend, tell everyone if you have been to Look at Me 4D Imaging. They have been nominated for Baton Rouge Parents Magazine's 2021 Family Favorite. Voting began September 1st, but it continues through September 30th. Please take a moment, if you're a watcher of my podcast, and go vote for them. And the best news is you can vote once per day. Look at Me 4D Imaging is your one and only local 3D and 4D early gender determination ultrasound studio located right here in Livingston Parish. They are here for all of your before birth ultrasound needs. So check them out on the web at lookatme4dimaging.com, and don't forget to vote. I'm going to include the link in the comments or the description of this podcast. Thanks so much. I actually made a trip out to Marpole recently, and boy, they got hit.
Oh my Lord!
And those poor people. They had speaking of water, they had pallets of water out there, and they would drive it up and just set it in the front of those subdivisions, and people would just come and grab as they needed, and that's a beautiful thing for them to be able to do that. But our parish, Livingston Parish, we always come through for our people, and I believe that the beauty of people comes out in disasters a lot of times.
I've said this many times, and it's not because I'm elected.
Yeah.
I've said it before I was elected. I will put Livingston Parish people up against anybody in this world when it comes to helping others.
Yes.
They show up for jambalayas, these benefits that they have. We'll tell people how much we raised on the jambalaya. That's impossible. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But you only sold 300 plates. Yeah, I know, but the people that came through, they gave 20s to 30s and 40s. They donated the food. We were able to do it. And then they'll care. It's amazing to me at the generosity of people of Livingston Parish. You can take those waters and you can drop them out. You don't have people running up there and grabbing all of them, throwing them in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
If they are, they're taking them to neighbors. They can't get to it. The generosity of the people is unbelievable.
Yes.
And I love this parish.
I do too. I do too.
I
And
just
you
love
say
this
you can't
parish.
say it any better than that, man.
You just put them up against anybody.
Yeah.
And they talk about Livingston, and they used to make fun of Livingston and everything. Now they talk about Livingston because this is the place to be.
That's right.
They
I
want to
agree.
be here.
100%.
Yeah, we've grown from 90,000 people in 2000 to 145.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they want to be here.
Real deal. Real deal here in Livingston Parish. So, and speaking of that, and speaking of growth, you've been researching some new software. Let's discuss that. Let's discuss this whole software thing. And
All right, let me tell you how it happened. About 2 months ago, I got a phone call one morning. Said, all right, we got a little situation. And I said, okay. And it was another assessor from Parish. He called and he said, I'm just finding out this information. Mm-hmm. The company that we've all been using has been breached. We're fine. The assessors are fine.
Yes.
The Sheriff's Association is not.
Yes.
Some of them got really breached, and so they've been hacked.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's that mean for us? Well, your sheriff should be calling you sometime. I was on the phone with him, Sheriff Cutting. He's like, I got some information for you. He said, your company's been breached. He said, it's pretty serious. They brought in the State Department, the FBI, military, everybody come in and raided this company.
Yeah.
But the Sheriff's Association knew about it for 1 year before they could let us know. Under penalty of arrest.
Yeah.
They could not. They had to continue doing business with this company, acting like nothing happened.
Yeah.
You realize how hard that would be?
I can only imagine.
Especially when you want to tell other districts
Sure.
and you can't.
Yeah.
So he told me as soon as he could.
Yeah.
And at that point, we decided, okay, we need to start searching, because if this company was breached that easily, and the reason they couldn't tell us anything is they was trying to find out where the breach come from.
Yeah, they didn't want to tip off.
They didn't want to tip off the company and all this kind of stuff. We understood it completely. So we had to do our due diligence and make sure that we were not breached. We were not. So we come out fine. But we found that the company was probably, there were some things that they should have done better as far as protecting and security.
Yeah.
So I decided I need to start looking for another company, or see if there's somebody out there that's a little bit better. If not, if this company's good, we'll stay here. But I'm gonna use this time to research.
Sure.
So I have done some extensive review in the last 2 months. I have talked with them in Los Angeles. I actually went to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Looked at their software. I didn't want to be sold. I didn't want to sell them. Everybody said, well, why don't you just have the salesman come in? Because he's only going to tell me the good. When I went to these different deals, we went to Tampa, we went to Dallas, I went to Los Angeles, I'm going to Seattle, and I'm going to Vermont. Why those areas? Because every time we're up for anything in IAAO, they win every time.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to get to where Livingston Parish is the best,
Yeah.
you got to play the best.
That's right.
You know, I already know what Louisiana's doing. I know every company that is represented in Louisiana.
Yeah.
There's one in Bossier that is leading the pack right now, as far as I'm concerned, in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But we haven't visited the King Daddy yet, which is Seattle. They're the best.
They're the
And
best.
So I've talked to the assessor up there a few times, and he says, yeah, we kind of got a decent district up here. So
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks that y'all are the best. I said, I'm coming to see you. I said, I want to see what you have. I said, and I want you to be brutally honest with me.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me the bad and the good.
Yeah.
Los Angeles did that. They told me everything that they didn't like about their system. They told me everything they liked. Dallas did the same thing. Tampa told us the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to learn, is what is the good one, so I can bring it back here. Again,
Absolutely.
if you want to be the best, you got to get the best.
You really
And
do.
so we're working on all of those things with the deal. I take different groups of my office. I'll take personal property and residential with me. I'll take commercial and change orders with me. And we'll put them in an area. You need to work with these people. And they'll spend a day
Yeah.
doing nothing but change orders, watching them do change orders.
Fantastic.
Does that work for you? Is that what doesn't work for you? I was telling you a little bit ago, we went to Los Angeles. And when I was talking to Assessor Preen out there, he was saying, well, this is what we have. We're spending $100 million. We're doing this. $100 million, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when he started putting everything up on screen, I was looking at it, I said, okay, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that. I like that. Well, when they finally started saying, well, what do y'all do in Louisiana? I said, well, we've been doing that for about 5 years. And we've been doing that for 10 years. And he was like, you really have, I said, we already had the scanned documents in. We already have the pictures. I've already got everything in my parish measured.
Yeah.
We're the only one in the state that has everything, a tape measure been put on it.
Wow.
I made a decision 12 years ago to make sure that I put a tape on everything.
Yeah.
So when people come in and tell me they got a 1,200 square foot house,
yeah,
you actually got 18.
Yeah.
Because my guys went out here on this date and we
Yeah.
measured it for you. So when he was talking about all these things and everything, I was like, we're already doing some of that.
Yeah.
But he did have some good ideas that I said, I'm going to take that home with me and I'm going to put that on my screen. And so all of these things I'm writing down, I'm taking the best of what everybody has,
Yeah.
and I'm adding it to whatever I'm going to buy. But I am going to, by the time we get through with this in January, February, March, we're going to have a top-notch software service.
That's fantastic. And, you know, the interesting thing about all of that to me is you're going to different places and you're taking kind of the best parts of what you like out of individual assessors' offices, and then you're bringing it back here and you're kind of tailor making your own program.
I'm making my own program. And it's
beautiful.
It's tailor-made.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little play on words there.
That.
But yeah, I
You like
appreciate
that.
it. I like it. But if it's not working for them, why would I bring it into here?
Yeah.
So I can go ahead and take all that out. Whereas if I just bought a canned program, I would have all the bad with it.
Yeah.
So I can go ahead and just take all that out and say, let's don't even bring that in here. Let's replace what they're doing over here with what Tampa was doing over here because it worked better there. I need that program in mind.
That's a great thing.
And so all of a sudden we're going to have a pretty good one.
Absolutely.
And so I'm looking forward to it. It's a big learning curve, man.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
But we're
lot.
going to be good.
Very good. And, you know, it's nice to have that teamwork there nationally, really, with all these other assessors' offices throughout the nation, that they'll open up their doors to you and say, hey, come on in, Jeff, and we'll show you how we do it.
Well,
and
it's
you take
relationships.
with it what you want.
It's relationship. I go to the IAAO conferences, and that's the International Association of Assessing Officers is what it is. Mm-hmm. And I go. Okay, when I go, I go to the meetings.
Yes.
A lot of people say, man, you are a nerd. But I go to the meetings because when you go, the best are in those meetings.
Yeah.
The ones that are not the best, they go in sightseeing.
Yes.
So when you're sitting there, all of a sudden you meet Jeff Preen from Los Angeles. You meet all of these different assessors, and you're sitting there talking to them.
Yeah.
And so when you call them, you pick up the phone and you call Kings County up and say, they go, hey, Jeff, how you doing? I ain't talked to you in a while. Everything going, yeah, how y'all doing with COVID and everything? Look, I would like to come in your office. Man, we're closed down. We don't really let anybody in. But I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to let your people come in, and we'll guide you through.
Yeah.
So they're going to set it up for us to be able to go, whereas their offices are closed. California's still closed down.
Sure.
They let me come in.
Yeah.
So I could see all these things. So it's
That's
relationships. Look,
Yeah.
it's just relationships. When you build relationships, people are willing to let you do things.
It really is. It's relationships working together, and it's who we are in the United States overall, and it's the best of America and all of those good things. Now, speaking of working together, you recently had some of your office kind of taken over by our National Guard, and you were happy to do that. Tell us a little bit about the National Guard.
Okay, 2016, the National Guard came in. They needed a place to set up their computers and be able to look at everything.
Yeah.
Sleep out in their trucks, but they needed a place to put everything in here.
Sure.
So I said, well, I've got an office. It's not the best, but it'll work. You can come in here and you can take over my kitchen. Well, when you say take over, we're going to move to 2 little areas, and we're going to do all of our stuff because right now with the flood, I can't be assessing anything.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Yeah. So we're going to let you come in here and take it over. So they took over the kitchen. They took over all the offices, put cots and everything everywhere.
Yeah.
Fast forward now to Ida. So I get a phone call. Yeah. And they say, would you allow the National Guard to come in? Absolutely. This building that we just built and we moved into in 2019 was built for the purpose of housing the assessor's office, but also being a first responder area that we can set up. So all we have to do is move a few things around. They have cots. The clerk of court is in the back of that building. They had bunk beds and everything in their area.
Yeah.
That in case an emergency and their people were out of work, they could come there and stay. Had a shower. So we allowed the National Guard to go back there in the bunks. We took the back 6, 7 offices. We put bunks all in there.
Yeah.
They put their cots in there. So we had 27 National Guardsmen that were operating out our office for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so when I tell you they took over, they took over.
Yeah.
It was their office.
Yeah.
And we just run the front, and we did everything that we needed to do up front, and we worked closely with them, and it was just seamless, man. And so they know that when they come out here, they've got a place to go.
That's a great
And
thing.
they don't have to sleep in their trucks.
Yeah.
Because a bunch of them were sleeping in their truck. When you'd see them, they'd be sitting up there, and they'd be sitting in the front seat with their feet propped up on the deal. They sleeping.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
We've got resources.
Yes.
Come over here. Now, I can't keep 100 of you, but I can keep 27 of you. I know I can keep 27.
Yeah.
Because we kept 27.
Beautiful.
So, and we fed them.
Yeah.
You know, we fattened them up a little bit.
Yeah. Look, they love that. And gosh, those guys work hard after that disaster.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, even the little pods they had set up in several areas, you would see those national, and they're just loading water in people's cars. And I mean, all day long. It was hot.
It was all day.
Yeah.
They would
they're
come back.
full
in the evening
sleeves.
Yeah, they'd come back in the evening time. And they were just, I mean, they were worn out.
Yeah.
They didn't need to be trying to fix things.
Yes.
There's a few things to the office that we're adding that is going to make us better first responders that we learned from this.
Yeah.
That we're going to be able to help with them.
I think that's a great point. And, you know, anytime you go through a disaster, it's a horrible thing. I mean, there's no sugarcoating that, but you do learn, and you do learn every time maybe a way in which you can do something better. And I try to find the silver lining kind of in any disaster. One of those is you learn something better, you know, or even if it's just a process of doing
just
something.
a process or just a tweak.
Yeah.
You know, I had people that, and I think I said this earlier, but people asked, they said, "Are you open?" We never closed.
Never
we didn't
closed.
close through COVID. We didn't close through Ida. When Ida went through on Sunday night, Monday morning at 7:30, we were there at the office.
Yeah.
We were ready to roll. That's just what our office does. And then I would get to checking on my people. I had trees and everything down my yard, but I had no damage to my home. And you kind of do that sigh of relief.
Yes.
And then you start getting the phone calls.
Yes.
And I've got 6, 7, 8, 10 of my employees that's got damage to their homes. Some of them being told that they won't get electricity back for 3, 4 months because they pulled everything away. We've got to be able to have the workers. So there's some things that have to be done at the office that is going to accommodate some of those things.
Right.
You know, if it's nothing more than a shower for the National Guard, I mean, they're coming in there hot all day. You can't take a shower 3 or 4 days, you're going to be miserable.
Yes.
And so if we can help with some of those things, and we found out that we can,
Yeah.
and we're going to accommodate and do a little bit better each time. And every time there's a disaster, we'll add something to it, and eventually we'll be there.
I love it. I love it. Now, let's talk about legislation real quick and millage updates.
Okay.
Some millage updates.
Yeah, we've got one of the things that we worked on for years is every time you go to a district and you say, "Can you lower your millage?" Man, we can't lower our millages because if we do, we're going to lose our maximum.
Yeah.
Well, that never was the case. You've just got to go back to your maximum millage once every 4 years.
Yeah.
It was too complicated. You couldn't explain it, and they knew how to use it, so they didn't have to lower their millages.
Right.
We can't do it. Yeah. So we went into legislation this year, and it's actually led by Assessor Thibodeau down in the Fouche Parish, and she really worked. She worked hard on this legislation, and I think there was one person that voted against it, and all of the legislature. That's hard to even imagine that you had one no vote out of all of them.
Yeah.
And what it does is you can lower your millages every year, because if you didn't raise it back to the maximum at least once every 4 years, you lost your maximum.
Sure.
So the districts wouldn't do it. We got it passed now to where you can lower your millages every year.
Yeah.
You can lower them every year for 20 years. Just keep on lowering them.
Yeah.
If you need it for a disaster or if you need a new program that you need to buy, our mapping system, you can go back to your maximum anytime.
Yeah.
And then you can lower it again.
Fantastic.
It changed it. It took that argument away from the districts that we can't lower it because if we do, we're going to lose our maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can lower it as much as you want to.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. You know, I'm not smiling because it's a beautiful thing because it takes that argument away.
That's right.
It starts giving it back to the people because, look, when we do a reassessment, we have a windfall of money.
Yeah.
Now, some of the districts do not.
Yeah.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
This is going to allow it to be better monitored.
Yeah.
And we can then start pointing it out a little bit more that you can probably, and it's not my business to get into the other districts.
Right.
But it is my business to let people know who is lowered and who has not.
Sure. Yeah. I agree.
Fair.
100%.
My job is millages. My job is assessments.
Yeah.
So if I'm lowering this, if I'm raising the assessments and I'm doing my job, then instead of taking this windfall every 4 years, lower your millages a little bit.
Yes.
Give a little bit back to the people.
Yes. And important to mention, I'm just going to mention this as a side note. So obviously, for whatever reason, the last couple of years, real estate has just exploded. Not only has real estate exploded, but the availability of houses has shrunk. So what happens is the market, the houses become in less supply, which raises the cost of houses just by natural progression. And man, I'll tell you what, houses are selling in 3 days that used to take 3 months to sell. And they're selling for 30, 40 grand more in a lot of cases.
They're selling for more than people are asking.
Yes.
Because people are so desperate.
Overlist.
Yes, overlist. You listed at 200,000, somebody comes in and offers you 215.
Yes.
And you're sitting there going, this
and then they get in a fight over
they get in a fight over the argument
yeah.
over, I put the bid in first. Let me tell you what is 2024 is going to be the next reassessment.
Yeah.
Okay. We use our numbers 18 months before. So I'll be using numbers from July the 1st of 22 through June the 30th of 23. Okay.
Yeah.
To get our reassessment numbers.
Yeah.
I'm telling people, guys, assessments based on numbers, which is the law. I have to base them on the numbers.
Yeah.
It's
Ain't
not
got
a
nothing
guess.
to do with you.
It has nothing to do with me. The tax commission comes in and said, these are the numbers you will use. And we use them. And I'm sitting here looking at numbers at 30, 40, 45%.
You're
That's
like,
a lot.
Wow.
And here's the thing. People say, well, we'll just vote for somebody else. It don't matter who's in here. This is the numbers you have to use.
Well, it has nothing to do with you. It's housing sales.
It's housing sales.
Yeah.
It's based off of value.
Yes.
Assessments are based off of value.
Be happy,
So
folks. Your
be
house
happy.
increased 45% in value.
People want to, when they sell it, they want it to be up.
Yes.
When they're paying tax on it, they want it to be down.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at a deal like this, I'm going to do what the law says to do.
Sure.
If they do it different, they're breaking the law.
They're breaking the law.
Period.
Yeah.
Now, what do you want?
Yeah.
We already have a reputation of everybody breaking the law.
Yeah.
I'm not going to break the law.
Yeah.
When it comes out, it's going to be what it's going to be. And
That's right.
So if the numbers are high, which I'm tickled to death, real estate agents, look, I've got friends of mine buying houses, and they're saying, this is what I paid for it. I'm like, wow, just 2 years ago, it was this much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we wanted this house. Okay, remember that.
Yes.
Whenever you get that tax bill.
Well, that's right. And maybe it's my way of looking at things through rose-colored glasses, as they say. But I look at it as, hey, my investment just went up.
Went way up.
It's a house is an investment,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
It's an asset.
Yep.
So it just jumped through the roof. That's a great thing. Yeah, you might have to pay a little more in property taxes, but that's okay. I'll be glad to pay a little more in property taxes if my investment skyrockets like that.
Well, let me tell you something else. It may cost you a little bit more to live in Livingston than it does in Baton Rouge. Where you want to live? Where you want to live? I want to live in Livingston. Okay.
Yeah.
Where you want to live? Well, Baton Rouge charges us this much. Okay, where you want to live? I want to live here. I want my kids to go to a school in their neighborhood. I want my kids to be safe. We offer all of that here in Livingston.
Yeah.
We've got good people.
Beautiful people.
So it may cost you a little bit more to live here, but where you want to live.
Your schools are great.
Yeah, that's
Your,
it.
It's no comparison to our.
No, I'm probably going to get a phone call on that from some of my friends. But where you want to live?
Yeah. I mean,
just repeat it over and over. Where
That's
you
right.
want to live.
That's right. And it's important to know you don't have any leeway there. You have to go off numbers.
Man, mine is straight up set
If
up.
housing dropped 45%, your assessments would go down 45%. Right. It's you have no control over that. You assess it, and that is what it is.
Yeah. And this is what I try to tell people. If you disagree with your assessment, call us. We will look at it. It's not like it was 20 years ago where we go, man, I have no idea what you've got.
Yeah.
I haven't seen your house. I have no drawings of it. I have no measurements of it. So we're going to try to work with you.
Yeah.
But now when you come in, bring some proof, because we're going to have the proof.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the way to back it up. So we're going to be able to say, now, if I lower yours, what am I going to do with your neighbors?
Yeah.
Because they deserve to get it. See, my job is to make it fair and equitable.
Yes.
That's my job.
Yes.
So if I lower yours, as people accuse in the campaigns, they say, "Oh, he's got buddies." He goes, "My mom don't think I'm doing any favors for her because my mom's is assessed where it needs to be."
Yeah.
If I'm going to do mine, every employee that comes to work for me, their family gets reassessed right then.
Yeah.
Be amazed at the ones 10 years ago that didn't want to come work for me when I told them that.
Yeah.
Well, what'd that tell me?
Yeah.
Your assessment may not be right. So we went and checked them anyway.
Yeah.
So if you come to work for the assessor's office, understand you're getting reassessed. Mm-hmm. And all your assessments can be put, absolutely, if it's wrong, it's going to be put where it needs to be.
That's right.
So that's the only way we can do it. If I'm going to be out there assessing property, I better be right on mine, because it sure is going to make it easy for somebody to throw a stone if mine's underassessed and everybody else is overassessed.
Absolutely.
So you just do it right. You take a lot of the noise and you block it out. Mm-hmm. People say it don't bother you what people say. And there's a lot of people that don't like me because somebody was willing to lie about me, period.
Yeah.
So if I listened to all of that, it would be just a long day. I just choose not to. I choose to listen to the people that are positive about this parish. They want it to move forward. They want things to be done right. And I'm going to continue to do that. So when you get your tax bill, if you disagree with your assessment, call me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But if your assessment, if you and I agree on your assessment and you get your tax bill and it's too high, you're calling the wrong person when you call me. Sure. Because your assessment's right. Yeah. If your tax is too high, call your districts. If your assessment's wrong, call your assessor.
Yeah. Agree 100%. And it's important for people to remember, I want a fair assessment. I want to pay everything I owe. And because I know where that goes. Yeah. That's going to your sheriff's department. That's going to these important entities that we have that make Livingston Parish so great, right? Mm-hmm. And so folks, just be aware that yes, housing values have shot through the roof, period. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for coming on. Again, you shed a lot of light on a lot of things. Tell people how they can get in touch with the assessor's office if they want to inquire about the reductions of those sorts of things.
Okay, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can call us. Our number is 225-686-7278. Yeah. You can go on livingstonassessor.com. Yeah. And you can send us an email or just whatever you want to do. Send us a note. Sure. We'll try to get to you. We will get to you. Yeah. But you can come out. Now, our lobby, we're very leery of opening the doors to the lobby. Sure. Because if my staff goes down, we got a problem when tax season comes. You got that right. We have to literally, we try to keep our people in departments. Sure. And we say, don't mingle. Yeah. Residential, y'all need to be back here. Yeah. Commercial, you need to be, don't mingle. Yeah. Because if you get COVID and you bring it up here, my whole office, and we got to shut down. That's not good. Talking about, you ask the districts how much they would want the assessor's office shut down. Yeah. They don't. So we're very diligent about it. If you're at my office and you're at your station, if you get up, you need to wear a mask. Yeah. And they're all like, oh,
yeah, can't afford to lose you.
Please don't make me come in here and find that you're not. Yeah. Because one person can knock out all 26 of my people. Yes. So we're very diligent about that. But give us a call. Come by. If you're outside, you call us. We come to the door, we open the door, and we take care of the business. Yes. Okay? It's not that you can't get service. Sure. It's just we've got the number on the door. Yeah. We're just not going to have it to where people walk in and out. Yeah, taking precautions. I got to take precautions. Absolutely. But we're available 24.
Very good.
I say I'm available 24/7. There's a lot of people that have my cell number. I used to give it out. I used to give that one and my mom and my wife's number out. And I said, if you can't get in touch with me, here's my wife's number. Here's my mom's number. My mom called me. She said, you need to cut that out. She said, because they are willing to call me. So,
yeah.
And so I don't give out the cell numbers anymore. And because a lot of times you don't know if it's what do they call it, spam.
Yes.
And so if I don't recognize the number, I wait till somebody leaves me a message.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Because I would literally be answering my phone
all
day.
Yeah, my home warranty has expired about 500 times.
Yeah, my car warranty.
Week.
I mean, I got a brand new one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, just come by and visit. Visit LivingstonAssessor.com. Give us a call, 225-686-7278. We will get to you. We will take care of you.
Sounds good. And I'll link your website to the description of this video. Make it easy for people if they need to go to the website or whatever. They can just click. Great. So they'll be there. Thank you again for coming on. Always a pleasure to have you on. Anytime you want to come back and talk about the great things that are going on with the assessor's office, glad to have you on, Jeff.
When I make the decision on the software, I'm going to come back and we're going to do a little demonstration for you and show you what we're looking at and all the stuff we added.
Oh, that would be
that'd
great.
Be pretty good. And we need to probably look at the flyover.
Absolutely.
You need to probably have a way for us to show some people how that flyover works so they can see where their money's going.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So look for that on an upcoming episode of Local Leaders, a podcast. I do want to thank all the listeners, viewers out there who support our show, support what we're doing right here in Livingston Parish, Louisiana. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, all those great things. We rely on you folks to get the word out and appreciate you so much. I want to thank all my sponsors for supporting what we do here at Local Leaders. They're all local businesses located right here in Livingston Parish, and they really do this out of the kindness of their heart, Jeff, and they support locals supporting locals. So it's
I want to add
thing.
something.
Yes,
they support locals doing locals.
Yes,
but they really like it when locals are being acknowledged for what they do.
Yes,
I'm understanding.
Yes,
that you are one of the top 10 finalists for
an
award.
I am.
That is International Business Podcast.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So although they're, I just sounded so 70s and 60s.
That's all right.
Cool. But I think that's a good thing. When you are good at what you do, you get acknowledgement for it, not just for yourself, but for your community.
Yes.
So thank you for what you're doing here in Livingston Parish. But even more, congratulations to you and your family for being acknowledged for being a top 10 recipient.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And it's, it's all about the people like you that come on my show and if it weren't for people like the Jeff Taylors of the world coming on, and I would really be nothing. I mean, without you guys, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you. And thank you for acknowledging that. We are very lucky, fortunate, proud, all those sorts of things here at Local Leaders to get that. It blows our mind daily that people all over the place are looking at Livingston Parish, Louisiana, and what we're doing here. So just honored for that. As I say every episode, I am Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business and your local assessor's office, and keep leading. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jeff.
All right.